Hey all, in the assignment for this week, one of the things that I'd ask you to do, in addition to simulating the circuit, or in addition to building the circuit on a breadboard and uh, taking actual measurements on the circuit, is to simulate it uh, at a website online. And so I want to take just a minute to introduce you to multisim.com. Go to www.multisim.com. It's by National Instruments, and I've actually already registered for an account, so it's recognized me here. But if you have never been to that site and have never registered for an account, you'll need to register for one. They need some information like an email address and so forth, and you guys are already familiar with setting up an account on a website, so you'll need to do that. And once you have actually gotten to the point where you have an account and can log in, then you'll be able to go and use Multisim. So as I mentioned, I've already created an account and I'm already logged in, and so I'm going to say create circuit. All right, so you'll see that we start out with a blank page and we have some menu items over here. So rather than try to explain what everything is, I believe there's some help for you there available if you want to find out more. But I'm just going to run real quickly through the process of setting up a circuit. As you can see, one of the things that we'll obviously need for this is a resistor. This is just drag and drop. So I'm going to drag it over and drop it someplace. And all the resistors for our circuit are going to be vertical, so we're going to rotate it by 90 degrees. And this one's already 1K, like we're going to need, so I'm just going to leave it there. But I also need some other resistors as well, so I'm going to hit the duplicate button and bring another resistor down here and duplicate this and bring another resistor there. And I'm just going to click outside somewhere to allow those to remain there. We also need a voltage source. We're going to click this icon and we have a selection here. You'll notice that we have a DC voltage source here, or a battery. So we're going to place one of those in the circuit. And one other thing to be aware of is that solver or simulation circuits like this tend to have a hard time functioning unless you indicate that you have a ground point somewhere. So I've just selected the ground. Actually, I forgot and dropped it there. I'm going to bring that down and I'll show you what we're going to do with that in just a minute. Okay, so click outside, say, leave it there. And so now what we need to do is connect those devices, the resistors and the battery and the ground, all with conductors. So you'll notice, you may want to zoom in just a little bit so it gets easier to mouse over those spots. But you'll notice if you mouse over those terminals on the devices, you'll get an icon that looks like a spool of wire. And so whenever you get that icon, just go ahead and click to select that point and then move on over to wherever you want to connect it to, and you'll see that it locks on. So we'll click it again there, and so that connection's been made. We also can connect this to this, and we can bring this down and connect it here. And we're going to connect these two likewise, and then we'll connect that to that. And so the only thing we lack here is a connection from here down to there. And what we'll need to do is find a way to create a junction in the middle of this conductor here. So I'm going to click on that, and you'll notice that there's a icon for a junction. So we're going to click right in there and find a good spot for our junction, click it, bring it down and over, and that's just the exact same way that we've been drawing circuits on the board, except that the thing that we're adding is a ground connection to this negative side of the battery here. So now our circuit's all ready, well, except for one thing. We need to change the value on that resistor. We've got a 1K and a 1K, now we need a 10K. And so we have the option here of just saying times 10, which converts it to 10K, and that looks right to me, so we're going to get rid of it. And so now we have all the right resistors and all the right resistances, and we're almost ready to simulate that circuit. But what you're going to want to do is discover the voltages at some of those points. So we're going to go up here to the analysis button, click it, and let's say that we want to monitor voltage here, and we also want to monitor voltage here, and obviously we want to measure voltage, well, maybe we'll measure it right here, and maybe we would also like to, I don't know, see total current. So I'm going to click that, and we're going to bring total current in and see how much current is in that wire. All right, so we've got some voltage and current sensors here, and the only thing we should have to do at this point is to hit simulate. All right, and so as you'd expect, this voltage up here is at 5 volts. This one is at 2.381 volts. We've got current in this direction at 2.619 milliamps, and 0 volts right here at ground, and also connected to the lower side of the power supply. So that should give you some sense of how we go about solving the circuit on the simulator. Hope that helps. If any of you have any questions, just let me know.